Awesome. And now we are live on Facebook as well as YouTube, and we're going to start writing and coding our role-playing game together. So to begin with, let's start with the question of, do you know what a role-playing game is, first of all? Have you heard of what a role-playing game is? Have you played any role-playing games? You could let me know in the chat or unmute yourself. Or if you don't know what it is, you could say don't know. Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, I know. Don't know. Okay, so perfect. Well, I was going to explain anyway. But basically, a role-playing game is... Oh, welcome. A role-playing game is a genre of video games where you are playing as a character. So have any of you played like Pokemon, for example, or maybe Zelda, or what else? What other games are there that you guys might play? Huh. Have any of you played those games? Oh, I guess we start early. Oh, we did start early. It's 1 minute early. I was like, why do I keep hearing all these people pinging in? Okay, so we have some people who have played RPGs. What RPGs have you played? Oh, we have some people who played Pokemon. Some people who played Stardew Valley. Oh, I also like Stardew Valley. I started playing that on the Switch recently. So, basically... IO games? What are IO games? You're new? Okay, well, welcome for all the people who are new. We're just going to talk about role-playing games a little bit before we start writing our own. So the idea behind a role-playing game is similar to Dungeons and Dragons. You create a persona, so you create a person, and then based upon your choices, the game will change. So when you play the game, it becomes personalized, and it makes you feel like you are the main character. And you don't necessarily have to play as yourself. You can play as a different character, a different gender, a different like species even. You can play as an alien. But the idea is that you are in a story, and you're creating a story that is personal to you, your experience. So when we're talking about role-playing games, we want to create stories that feel personal to the readers. So how do we do that? So have any of you guys ever played like a choose your own adventure or read a choose your own adventure story? Yes. Great. So we have people who play Roblox and games like that, and yeah, we're going to make something kind of similar, and the idea is we're going to make a story where the reader feels like they have choices over different parts of the story to create a personal experience. So let's actually get started, and what we're going to do is we're going to be writing our story on my story, essentially. So we're going to write this story together. You can, in your own time, also go on to elementary.io and create a free account and write your own story that way. But in our case, we're just going to write it together so we can code some more complex logic and interactions. So the first thing we need to figure out is what kind of story are we going to write about. So let's pick a genre. Do we know what the word genre means? So if I say a genre of books or a genre of movies, can you give me some examples of a genre? So yeah, we have fantasy. So we could create a story that's based in a fantasy world, in fiction, horror, maybe science fiction, maybe something that's more realistic, like I don't know, a school life story. So I'm just going to have a vote, and we're going to pick a genre first. So let's say how many of you want to do something in like a fantasy world with, I don't know, wizards or magic or something that's more Dungeons and Dragon like. So we have some people who like fiction. So fiction would be more like if we want to write a story that's about school, maybe the new girl in school or the new boy in school or school life drama. Okay, fantasy, fiction. How many? Is there a way to make a poll on Zoom? I'm pretty sure there is. Polls. Add a question. This is way too complicated. What genre? What genre? Fantasy. Fiction. What else? Sci-fi. Let's say mystery. Okay. Save. Let's see if this works. Okay, I sent you, I'm launching a poll. You guys choose. Can you guys vote? Does this work? Okay, it works. So for those of you who are asking about the class code, we're not actually having a class code because you're going to be writing the story with me. And so therefore you don't actually need to write your story on your own. I know some people are working on one device with multiple people, so that's just to help with that process. Okay, so we have 3 people in fantasy, 2 people in sci-fi. It's 3-3. Can we have a tiebreaker? Do we have a tiebreaker? No? Okay, we have 6 people out of 6 who have voted. How many people are in here? I don't know. 7, including me? Oh, so my vote counts? Is that what it is? Okay, well, let's pick fantasy. I like fantasy. We'll go with fantasy. So, sorry, sci-fi people. We're going with a fantastical world adventure. So, fantasy world adventure. So this title can be changed, but for right now we're just going to use this because we can. And let's choose a nice, oh, that's a cool font. I like this font. Okay, so in our fantasy world, before we really go into coding, let's kind of get the structure of our story. So to get us started, let's just take a look at some of the images we have and maybe pick out who our like characters we want to have are. Like, do any of these characters look good to you? You want any of these characters? I'm just going to scroll down really slowly. I see a lot of anime spamming in the chat. Yes, we have a lot of anime characters. I can also turn myself into an anime character. Maybe we'll do that later. Okay, so we have girls, we have boys, we have monster-like people. Okay. Do we have... Which character do we like? Do we have a character we like? Okay, let me know which character you like. Yes is not an answer. Any anime works. Okay, the purple girl. We like the purple girl. Let's pick the purple girl. Okay, so when we create our story, we can do all the things like adding a speech bubble, we can add some text, all of that jazz is available. What we're going to focus on though is we're going to think about the logic of our game. So in some games, like when we play Stardew Valley or when we play Pokemon, you have a choice of do you want to be a boy or if you want to be a girl. Sometimes you also have choices like, oh, maybe I want to make my intelligence the highest, so that way I can become a magician, for example. Or maybe you have some other options like, oh, maybe I start out as a new character and I don't have any stats and I have to level them up a little bit by little bit depending upon certain events. So it might be like, oh, I have to defeat the dragon, and if I defeat the dragon, then I can, you know, increase my strength. Those are all options. So I don't know if you guys have any ideas on which direction you want to take this story. Do we want to do something like magic, something like having the character level up, or maybe we want to track the character's relationship with other people. And while you do that, just write in the chat, let me know. And while you do that, I'm just going to give you a really quick example of what I mean by the stats. So some person said, let's do a character with the relationships, focusing on relationships between characters, making friends or enemies with characters. That seems pretty interesting. So, so how many people like Supernova's idea of the characters with relationships? We have one person who likes it. What else? Any other ideas in our chat? Okay, so let's make it like a battle royale, make all the characters fight each other. We can do something like that. Okay, so before we really get started with everything, I just want to ask you guys, how many of you guys have actually coded before, and what's your familiarity of it? So if you've coded before from a range of 0 to 5, 0 being I never coded at all, 5 being I'm a pro and I know how to code, what's the range? Put it in the chat, please. Oh, we have a lot of people who have experience. Great. So people who have experience, you guys can help me out. And I see a lot of people who have done Scratch before, some people who have done some Python, some people who say they are absolute pros, 7 out of 5. Okay, great. So if I ask you guys what a variable is, can you give me can you let me know what a variable is? Like, what does a variable mean to you? In programming language, what is a variable? And it's okay if you don't know at all. Do we know what a variable is? Anyone want to give it a shot? Okay. So a variable is a changing answer. It could be a changing answer. So basically a variable is a container and it contains a value. So this value can be your name. It can be a stat such as charisma. It can be if you're a boy or if you're a girl. And in elementary, we have 3 types of variables. So we have the text variable, we have the Boolean variable, and we have the number variable. So text variables are used when we want to, for example, name a person. So let's try that. Let's actually give our character a question that's like, what is your name? So let's add a text field. So someone just copied and pasted the definition of variable in the chat for all of you guys who are interested in the technical definition. Yes, a variable is a name that's used to hold values, and you can use it in multiple places. So we're going to use an example. So let's ask, what is your name? So then you go to the event graph. So every page on elementary has 2 sides. You have the layout side, which is where you can design your page, add your images, add a nice background like so. You can do whatever you want with the backgrounds. Oh, let's do this one. And the event graph is where we code. And we code by connecting blocks together. So we connect blocks together a little bit differently than we do in Scratch, if you're familiar with Scratch. If you try to create an account and it says your name is already taken, then you have to choose a different username because someone already took that username, unfortunately. So let's see. So let's actually try to code this, and we have tutorials if you want to go through it, and we're going to use the, where is it? How to use a text variable tutorial. So in this one, we're going to ask the reader for their name, and then the main character's name is going to be that. So let's get started, and we're going to create a text variable. So the reason why we choose a text variable is because we want to store a value, which is the reader's name. So we're going to first add hold on, I have a question. I'll respond with let's see, email. Oh, if you want to follow someone, you have to go to their profile and then click the follow button. So did someone just leave? Wait, hold on. I'm very confused. So if you have problems with creating a username, just okay, so you could just find if you just use elementary.io / and then you put the username, then it works. So for example, if you want to find for example, my profile, then you just go to elementary.io / Nikoko, and then my profile is here for you to see. So that's how you can find it, and then you should be able to follow it if it's not your profile. If it's your profile, you'll be able to edit it. Anyway, so let's move on and continue with how to make a text variable. We're going to add a variable, and then we're going to call it name. Okay, so variables are containers. They're going to contain something. In our case, we want to set the variable name equal to whatever we're typing in our text field box. So I'm going to use this event called onTextInput, and that basically is an event that triggers when we finish typing in something in the text box and we press enter. So I'm going to need a variable called, or a variable block called variable equals text object. So what we want to do is we want to connect these blocks together. So on text input, set the variable equal to the text object. Yes? What's... Okay, so if you want to change your profile picture, you can click on your profile avatar and then choose an avatar. So that could be a bunny. Okay, so let's continue, and I need someone to help me out. Who wants to help me out? So you're going to help me connect blocks together. Okay, Carolina, I'm going to give you mouse control access. And what I want you to do is I want you to try to connect the blocks together. Okay, so yep, purple circle to purple circle. Yep. Great. And then the last thing we need to do is we need to click on select variable. Select variable. Yep. And then select the variable in the drop down. So for those of you who are having a difficulty creating an account and following along, the stream will be recorded, so you can review the stream, the recorded stream on YouTube as well as Facebook. All right, great. So let's I'm gonna get back my remote, my mouse, I mean. Okay, so we set it up and it's all fine and dandy, but if I preview and I type in something, I don't see anything happening. And that's because on the layout side, we're not showing our name. So how we can show the variable here is with curly brackets. So I'm going to grab a nice font. You want to name her Emily? Well, right now we're naming her whatever the reader names her. So let's see. So the curly brackets are also called mustache because it kind of looks like a mustache, but like sideways. And mustache is a technical term, so you can use the term mustache. We use it actually in some JavaScript libraries. So mustache is great because then you can actually see what the variable value is. So I'm just going to let you take a look. So when I preview, so preview Emily. Oh, so for some reason it says, hello, I'm Emily. Let's do that instead. And if we change it, let's pick another name. So let's say Carolina. And if we say Fluffy, then you'll notice that it's always being replaced. Okay, so that's kind of how a text variable works. So what's our story going to be about? We already said that we're going to have it be about relationships and building relationships. What's the setting? Is it at a school? Is it at like in a dungeon? They're trying to escape. What's happening? So we have school for sure. Okay, so we're gonna have it at a school. And is she like the new girl at school, or is she I don't know, something else? Is she entering a new school? Has she always been there? Is it... Let me know a little bit more about the setting. What's the setting? Okay. So, okay, it's going to be the new girl at school, and let's figure this out. So name is the, I don't know, has just joined a new school. She a bit. How is she feeling? She's a bit scared. She's excited. Excited. Okay. And doesn't know what to do. Let's do something like this. We can change it up a little bit later. So she enters the school. And so let's start this story with some music maybe, and maybe some animation. Let's do that. So on page start, I'm going to need you guys to help me code this. On page start, what are we going to do? She's terrified to the point of literal death. Okay, let's she's a bit excited and she, which one? Do we want to do the, she wants to be the coolest person, or she is terrified? Do we have a tiebreaker for which one to do? Okay. So she is terrified. Let's do terrified. Terrified to the point of literal death. Okay, so our friend here is quite scared. And let's get started with some animations. So, on page start, maybe let's play a background music. What do you think? And we want her with a scared animation. Okay, we could do a scared animation in a little bit. So let's do some background music maybe, and let's do a text effect. So we can choose which one looks scared. Wait, where's the music coming from? I don't know. Spring music? Okay, we'll put some springish music, whatever that means. Okay, I'm going to share my computer sound. Let's find some springish music. What about this one? I don't hear anything. Why don't I hear anything? Let's see. I can't hear anything either. I might have to refresh. Maybe my computer doesn't like me right now. Let's try refreshing. Yeah, my computer hates me sometimes. It's just what happens. Okay, let's see. Is it? Oh, that was very loud. That was not spring-like. That was Okay, let's do this one. Happy piano. Which one? This one? Late lunch? Something was Jungle Mission. This one? Okay, we're gonna add this one to the page. Okay, so we're gonna add that to the page and we're going to play it. Okay, so we're gonna add maybe, let's add a typewriter effect at the same time. And who wants to help me code this? So basically what I'm saying is I want to, on page start, play a music and also play a text effect on the narration. Who wants to help me? Okay. Alright, you have control over my mouse. Okay. So this is saying if you play the play music, then you're going to play the text effect. That might be a little bit long before you see the text effect. You won't see the text effect ever. So yeah, get rid of that. Let's see, where else can we connect it to? Your hamster is making a lot of noise. I have a cat. She makes a lot of noise. Can someone help out? Where do you think we connect our blocks? No, that one's right. That one's right. Don't delete it. It's good. Let me give you a hint. Start from the play text effect triangle. The other one, not that one. The one on the left-hand side. Yeah, grab that. And now, where do you think you could connect it to? There's two places. I said that one will be after. Yeah. So let's just go over this really quick. No, you're good. You're done. You can now, the last step you have to do is select the music. So go to the music, go from the drop-down menu. Yeah, jungle mission. Now preview and check it out. Alright, great. Alright, give me back my controller. Perfect. So it's a little bit awkward because right now we're playing the text effect and we haven't inputted the name yet. So let's actually have, yeah, it doesn't say the name yet because we have to input it in. So you have to say like here, and then it's a little bit different. So let's actually fix that. Yeah, we have to do it after the text input, then we play the text effect. Great idea. So instead of on page start, we're just going to leave on page start play music, but for the text effect, let's actually do it after we input the name. So to play it after, we go from the function that we want to go from before and we connect it to the function after. You're kind of bad at doing this? No problem. We're going really fast through this. So that's why I said we're doing it together, so that way we can do cool stuff together. Otherwise, if we were to go and do everyone doing it individually, it might take a little bit longer, but if you're doing it with me, we could go faster. So let's try it out. Let's preview. Okay, so there's no text. All right, great. So we actually have a little bit of a weird thing here where it's staying here. So for those of you who are used to Scratch, yeah, this is really different. This is actually called a node-based visual programming environment. And that's just a fancy way of saying that we connect these nodes to each other. So one thing that people have a misconception of is that visual programming is just for babies and real programming is Python and JavaScript. And that's not the case at all because we actually see visual programming used in the real world, specifically in games like in software like Unreal Engine and Unity. So any of you familiar with Fortnite, for example? So yeah, definitely. So Fortnite is actually created on Unreal Engine, and Unreal Engine has a node-based visual programming environment. So if you go to like Unreal, it's too strong. So this is actually Unreal Engine, and you can see that you connect blocks together. So that's just a little bit of context. And if you've watched any animations or really any big movies, they also use a node-based visual programming environment to do a lot of special effects or computer-generated animations and graphics. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, so we have this weird thing of the text box is staying here, and I want it to fade in after I play my text effect, let's say. So to play it after, all I have to do is grab my fade and then grab what I'm fading in. What am I fading in? The bubble. Okay. So then let's connect these together and then the fade in like that. And we can choose a direction which we fade in. You can choose to fade it into the right, to the left, to the bottom, to the top. Let's just fade it into the right and check it out. So let's preview. So we want the name Emily. It works. So I think the last step is, I don't know, we go to the next page. Do we want to do anything else on this page? Or we want to go to the next page? So while you guys figure that out, I'm going to add a background. All right, we want to go to the next page. We're good on this page. So we now have our main character's name. This name is dependent upon whatever the reader puts in. And now we want to describe Emily a bit more. Or in our case, her name is Emily, our main character. So let's go grab her. So what do we want to say? Introduce all the characters. So we have Emily. We want to introduce a bully. Who looks like a bully? This one? A boy is better because boys are bullies. Or we want a snobby girl. We want a snobby girl. Yeah, that's me. Exactly. Let's have, I don't know. Do a snobby girl. Okay, well, let's first add some other characters. So we have what? We have our girl Emily. She's our main character. Then we have who else? We have or we can have like a mean teacher or something. Okay, so give me some characters we want to add. We want to a nice girl and a nice boy. Okay. Okay. Okay, well, Elia has some other opinions. What do you have? Any ideas then? So are you able to control Emily? So that's a good question. Let's, so you can control, like you want her to be able to move according to what you press. So the problem with that is that if you're reading it on mobile, what happens then? You don't have a W, you don't have an A, right? Well, you could code it so that if you press, like, let's say you have an up arrow and a down arrow, like let's say we can make some arrows like this and you can like make her move around a map, for example. You can do that. So you can do like, oh, if I click on this, then she goes up. If I click on the other thing, she goes to the right. So we could do that, but that's a little bit more tricky though. But I thought we were talking about relationships, and we're going to do, yeah, we could do a battle royale maybe next time. We don't have the events really to do that. So we have to think about our events. Our events are on click, so we can click on things, on drag over, when we drag something over another thing, and on text input. So things have to be clickable or draggable, things like that right now. So if we want to do a battle royale, we would have to have an event that's like when, well, I guess technically you could do it on drag over. So when he gets to a house, it goes somewhere else. But anyway, let's actually just figure out the characters for this story and then get that done first. So we have, who is this? Do we have any ideas on which character we want? So we need a snobby one. Yes, I know we need a snobby one. Which one is going to be the snobby one? This one? Is she going to be the snobby one? Okay, we're going to get her. So, oh ho 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 ho, I am the snobby one of the story. Oh ho 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 ho. Something like that. Sure. You're not impressed by my snobby impersonation? No one is impressed. Sad. Okay, so what's the description for here? Okay, do we have any description, as in sentences, regarding this character, or do I get to make her whatever I want? What do we say here? So what's her name, first of all? My name is Bully. I don't think that's a great name. Mila. Mila has been the what? You're the new loser? Whatever. Okay, let's do this. I heard we have a new girl. Okay, so I'm going to actually show you how we can do a flip, or not a flip, a change image. So let's say like on page start. Yes, I got it. Make her like she has a crush on the dude, what? And takes his boogers? What the heck is that supposed to even mean? I don't even know. Okay. Okay, so she had telling everyone that the new girl has a crush on a guy who picks his nose. Is that correct then? Her. So she was just lying. Okay, so we have a lying bully. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is, so we have a text effect. We're going to have a fade in. So is her name going to be Mila or is it Avery? Do we have a, okay, so Mila, we're sticking with Mila. So what I want to show you guys is we can click on Mila and have her change images. Okay, so on click once, I'm going to change an image and then I'm going to change the text. Okay, so this is a little bit more advanced. So let's see if we can do it together. So I'm going to get change image and I'm going to get, let's first do change image. So let's do one thing at a time. So who wants to help me out? Someone else who wants to help me out? Okay, Supernova, let's go. I can't give you remote control access, I think. I'm sorry, I can't give it to you. You're not in my list of give mouse and keyboard access control to. Sorry about that. Anybody else then? Maybe Chromebook doesn't work then. I don't know. Okay, Lainey, let's have you help me out. Okay, Lainey, help me out here. How do I connect my blocks together? What I'm trying to do is on click. So when I click on the image, so you want to connect the, yep. You're going to connect the white triangle to the white triangle. Yeah, like that. So on click, change image, and we need an image object. So we need to connect the purples. So connect the purple circles. Perfect. Just try one of them. Yep. So this is, you're changing this image, and what are we clicking on? We're going to click on the same image that we're changing. So we need to connect the purple dots together again. So the purple, 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 other one, other one. On click once has no object. You see? Yep, 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 yep. That's right. Okay, so now we have to choose the image our bossy girl turns into. So click on select image. Select image. It's in the change image block, the green change image block. Yeah, the function. Yep. Sorry about that. Oh, sorry. Okay, so now you can choose a different image. Maybe the one with the eyes closed, for example. You can't see any of it? Is there a way for me to make it bigger for you? Or is your screen just small? Here, let me try this. Oh, you did it? What did you do? You zoomed in? Okay, great. You didn't select one. You might, yep. You have to just click on the one you want. It doesn't matter which one. It's just to test it out. Yeah, just click on one. Great. Awesome. So hit preview. It's in the top right hand corner. Preview next to publish. Okay, let me take over. Okay, so preview. Okay, so when I click on her, she changes images. You see, her eyes open up. So let's now change the text. So you can do the text in multiple ways. You can add, let's say, a speech bubble on top of another speech bubble. You can also copy and paste if you want the same font. You can Control-C, Control-V, or use copy here and paste. You could do that and fade them in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use a function. So functions are our actions. They tell us what to do. So some functions we have used already are change image, fade, play text effect, play background music, and now I want to have a very special function called text object equals value. So who is bald? Why are we asking people who's bald? I'm bald. Okay, so I'm going to connect after. So this is functions in sequence. When we connect it after another one, it means we're going to first change the image, then we're going to change the speech bubble. So in my case, I'm going to change this speech bubble. So what do we say we want her to say? Like we want her to say, what are we saying? Let's say I heard, what was it? I heard the new girl likes boys who pick their noses or something like that. Okay, so okay. So I click on her, she changes images, and hold on, my text is not going through. Let's see why the text is not going through. Huh. Maybe this one doesn't work very well. Let's try one more time. Okay, maybe not. Okay, change of plans. We fixed things and broke things. Let's see. We're gonna do the other option. Ah! I heard the new girl likes boys who pick their noses. And we're gonna just layer it on top of each other because the other function is not working too well. So let's see. So we're gonna fade in. Well, first we're gonna fade out the old speech bubble, and then we're gonna fade in the new speech bubble. So we're gonna fade out. Oh ho 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 ho! I heard we have a new girl, and then we're gonna fade in the new speech bubble. Okay, so let's try that. So, no problem. So, I heard we have a new girl. I heard the new girl likes boys who pick their noses. Looks good? Okay, so we still haven't finished who this person is. So can we explain a little bit about Mila? Who's Mila? We don't, so we know that as the writer, but we don't want to tell people that because the reader should figure that out, right? Like the reader is playing the character of the main character. So the reader is going to go through this story as this character. And if you tell the reader, oh yeah, she's a liar and blah, 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 then it kind of ruins the fun for the reader, no? So Mila has been the most popular girl. I like that, since forever. Good job. I like that. Any other? We want to add another sentence. Since. Okay, since forever. Thank you. Since forever. Do we have another sentence explaining Mila? She wears bad clothing. Do we have any other suggestions? She has a cool backpack that everyone wants. Okay, so Mila has been the... we have a writer here. So Mila has been the most popular girl since forever. She always thinks that she's better than everyone else. I have no idea what that sound is. Can we turn it off? Thank you. Anyway, you can change this later. We're gonna add a nice background again. We have like school. Let's find a school background. Since we're making a... We have lockers. Where are the lockers? Oh, here's the lockers. Okay, there we go. Okay, perfect. So we have our main character. We have this girl. Who else? I think we have enough time for one character. One more character. So we have do we have like a friend of hers? She has no friends. You have no friends? A cute guy? Okay, we need a cute guy. So who's a cutie? A cute guy who's nice. Do we want a guy with long hair? This guy? He looks kind of like a girl though. Maybe it's a girl. I'm not really sure. You like it? You like the guy here? The green haired guy? No, we have a no. We have a veto. Do we have any other boys? This one? The blue one. Which one's the blue one? This one? Do we like him? If I search boy, do you think something better will come up? Let's look. Boy. Okay, do we have anyone that looks good? We have a prince. We have some dude with long hair. That's a girl, I think. Oh, wait, we like the blue one? Let's find the blue one again. Let's look a little bit longer. Or we like this one? He has cool hair. Do we like this blue one or the first blue one? Ew. We don't like him? Okay. The first one. Okay, let's find the first one again. Okay, we have our cutie boy. Okay, there we go. So what's his name? Yes, I am doing this live on YouTube and Facebook. You don't see it on YouTube's? Well, I will send you the YouTube's link and then you can see it on YouTube's. Let's find it. I put it in the chat for all of you who want to go on YouTube. Okay, great. So I have some people who are asking what is happening here on Facebook. That's a good question. We are creating the cast of our... Oh, I just put it in private. My bad. There you go. His name is Blue. We're gonna name him Blue because he has blue hair. I mean, come on. We have a main character whose name is like whatever the reader wants. A girl, mean girl whose name is Mila. And you're gonna name the boy Blue? That seems kind of sad. Do we have a better name than Blue, please? We're not gonna name our poor boy Blue. Sage. We're gonna name him Sage. Is Sage even a name? Alex. I mean, Sage is like a fantasy title, but is it like a name? I guess it could. Alex looks better. I like Alex. Alex is... Who's Alex? Who is Alex? Sage is in the baby book, so it exists. He's a friend, but she's the new girl in school, so... Okay, so Alex is cute and nice. Yes, we can see Alex is cute and nice. Do we have any other descriptions of Alex? Emily has a crush on him. Okay. So in our game, do we want Emily to make a choices in order to be able to become better friends with Alex? How do we want this to go? So today we're going to be more talking about the overall story of it, and then next time we're going to do more of the coding. But we have to get at least our main characters down and what we want the story and the game to be about, right? So we can have different choices, and depending on the choice, maybe Alex will like Emily, or maybe Alex decides, I don't know, he doesn't like Emily. I don't know. Up to you guys. So do I have control over everybody? I don't even know. Okay, so Do we have, so we have choice, we want to make a choice for Emily to be able to date Alex, I guess. But we have to explain who is Alex. Who is Alex? Is he like, is he a good student? Does he do sports? I don't know, like, is he the rebel that sits in the back of the class but is really nice? Who is Alex? Alex is, he's a rebel, so Alex is a rebel. What else about Alex? He's a rebel in what? Alex is a rebel at school. He what? Okay, so we're gonna say Alex is a rebel at school who always sleeps in class. He, I don't know. So he said he helps Emily. So do we later give Emily a choice or give the player a choice so that Alex can help her, or what do we do? Do we have an idea? Okay, so in our story, it's actually not a fantasy world adventure. We were doing fantasy and then it became fiction. Okay, so in our story, we start with asking the reader for their name, right? Because the reader is going to play the character of this girl. In our case, we call her Emily, but in the reader's case, it could be any name. So she goes into school as a new girl. She's scared, okay? And we can create choices for the reader. So it could be something like, what does she decide to do? And what kind of choices she makes. And depending upon her choices, her relationship with different characters can become better or worse. Does that kind of make sense? I thought that was what we were doing. No? All right, great. So right now we're just getting everything set up so we have at least our characters set, and then over the week you guys can then come up with different scenarios or storylines and we can kind of code it so that way it actually works as a game. Make sense? Nope, not at all? Okay. So what do we have a question about? You don't have any questions? Okay, great. So we're actually already out of time. We have 3 characters and we kind of set up our scenario and our setting. Our setting is at a school. Emily's the new girl in school and we want to make a relationship role-playing game. So over the week, if you have time and you want to help me with the writing, you can send me an email or, yeah, let's do that. You could send me an email with some of your ideas. And that way, next week, we can actually get started with writing out and drafting our story with all of the conditionals and all of the different actions that the reader can take. Because remember, a role-playing game, when you play a game, it's not like a book. You don't go from page 1 to page 2 to page 3 to page 4. It's more like a choose-your-own-adventure where, depending upon your choice, you'll have maybe a different ending or at least different dialogue and interactions. Does that kind of make sense? Okay, great. So, and I think that's it for the stream, and I'll